right. All right. All right. What is going on, everybody? So, today we're going to be having a fun discussion. We're going to be talking about priorities and we're going to be talking about vision. But before we get into the show, as always, if you're tuning in on the replay, you can skip ahead a minute or two here. But if you're tuning in live, if you've never seen the show before, make sure that you go subscribe. Make sure that you go, share the show out to some friends after you watch this episode. And again, the goal of this show will always be and has always been help athletes progress in every area of their careers in sports. So we talk a lot about mindset stuff. We talk a lot about, approach to day-to-day life. We talk about training. The goal is to give you guys everything, give you guys every bit of my brain that has helped my athletes see the success that we have. Now, today we're talking about vision and we're talking about priorities. And so basically, we're going to get into whether or not your priorities actually align with your vision. And if they don't, how to make that switch to start better aligning your priorities with your vision. So let's get going. And let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dusseault, and today we're asking a very important question. Do your priorities align with your vision? Now, why am I asking this? I'm asking this question because this is something, again, as often with this show, I see a lot with athletes where they'll tell me, I'm going to be a UFC champion. I'm going to, achieve this, achieve that, achieve this, achieve that. And then that same athlete will go out on the weekends and drink until they black out. And I'm not sitting here telling you that, you're not allowed to go out and have some fun with your boys or whatever it is. But right away, your priorities and your visions aren't aligned. Because if your goal for your career is to be the best in the world at something, and then you're treating your body like shit every weekend, do you see where that doesn't align? Do you see how right away you're saying that you want something and then you're not doing the shit that's required to get that goal? And this goes a lot deeper. That's obviously just one type of example. But basically, what I want you guys to do first as you listen to this is tell me, what is your vision? What is your vision for your career? And this goes deeper than just, as the example I gave, UFC champion. That's a good way to start. But if you don't have clarity in the vision for your career, it's going to be very hard to stick to the actions you need day to day to achieve that vision. So when it comes to vision, what I want you guys to think about is not just what you want out of your sport, but what you want out of your life. So as an example, like for myself as a coach, from the coaching career itself, I want to be coaching world champion athletes. I want to be the go-to strength and conditioning coach for high-level combat sports athletes that are looking to take their careers to the next level, that are looking to achieve world championship status. And I want to be that guy. There are guys out there right now doing that. And I want to be in that conversation, in the conversation with the Phil DeRues of the world, in the conversation with the Lauren Landows of the world, those high-level elite coaches. I want to be in that conversation. But beyond that, one of the main important things to me is that I'm changing how athletes view training. And so that's not necessarily, a goal, like a tangible thing of, I have to achieve this level of whatever. But that goal is more vision. So, I don't want to just be in that conversation of, the go-to people when it comes to succeeding in this industry. I want to do it in a way where I change the way that athletes see training, because that's something that I struggled with a lot as an athlete. I thought the more I worked, the better results I'm going to get. The more specific I could be to the sport, the better results I'm going to get, completely overlooking a base of strength and athleticism, which then bit me in the ass and cut my career short. So what I want to do is I want to be that guy for athletes that helps them shift their understanding, shift their perspective, and see what training will actually do for them compared to this old school mentality of just grind your fucking face off and hope for the best. Now, another part of my vision, and this is more on the personal side, is that I never want my family to have to worry about money. And Now, obviously, there's a lot of different ways to achieve that, but that is one thing that drives me every day is that I can provide for my family whatever we need. And so in order to make that happen, I need to learn a lot more about the business side of the game. I can't just sit and be a really good coach and have no ability to reach new people and no ability to advance in my career or build partnerships or whatever else it's required to actually build a business in this field. Because, well, believe it or not, you can be good at what you do, but if nobody knows you're there, then no one cares. So my goal is to never have my family worry about money. So those are part of the actions that I take every day, not just to achieve, that status or that that personal status of being one of the go-to people in this industry, but doing so in a way that changes the way athletes view training and doing so in a way that allows me to keep my family comfortable and make sure that my family never has to worry about money. Now, on top of that, just again, these are basic views in terms of vision. So what I want you guys to think about right away is, what is your actual vision for your athletic career? Are you focused more on competing for a certain organization? Why are you focused on competing for that organization? What do you want to do with the platform that you build as an athlete? What kind of money do you want to make? Are you destined on, I want to be the champion of the world? Or is the vision more just, I want to do this for a living? Like, what is your actual vision? If everything played out perfectly for you, what does that look like? Now, one thing I want to make clear when I say that too, is that the goal of this exercise is not just to sit here and say, I want to be a world champion. If that's not you, that's okay. If you are competing because you want to do this for a living, or you want to, test yourself to show that you could do it at the highest level, and having a belt does not, motivate you that way, then great. You found your motivation. You found your goal and your vision, and that is what's important. But for the sake of this podcast, let's say your vision is to be the best in the world. You want to win the UFC championship. You want to make millions of dollars competing. You want every piece of everything. You want to retire your family. You want all of those great things. Now, what I want you to ask yourself is, do your actions today align with becoming that person? Because no matter how old you are, you could be 15, 16 years old. And I've heard people say like, oh, I just need to be a kid. Sure. But how long can you afford to, quote unquote, be a kid and put your sport on the back burner and still hope to achieve that high level of a goal? If your goal is to be the best in the world at something, your actions today are what create the make or break with that goal. Your actions today will determine whether or not you actually get to achieve that goal, or whether you're one of those has-beens washed up in a bar somewhere telling everyone how great you could have been if you had just worked a little harder. So I want you to ask yourself, do my actions today reflect the needs, reflect the person that I'm trying to become? And from personal experience, guys, I'm saying this as someone who for a long time, his actions did not reflect the person he was trying to become. I've been talking for a long time about how I want to make a difference in the strength and conditioning world, how I want to achieve all these great things. I want to be known in this industry, etc. I've been saying that for a long time, but I haven't been backing that up in the same way until just the last couple of years. So I'm not saying this from some place of superiority. I'm telling you from experience. If you have big goals, your actions today need to reflect that. If you have big goals, your actions today need to reflect that. Because if they don't, you're leaving results on the table. You're basically telling other people, yeah, I want this, but you want it more. So, jump ahead of me, and then eventually I might try to catch up. And that's not the way you're going to see the success you're looking for. It's just not. So ask yourself now, if your actions reflect the needs, the goals that you have for your sport, the vision you have for your life. And if they don't, ask yourself this: what is one thing that I can change today? And the reason it's so important to start small, I'll give you an example. One of the things for me, when I started really realizing that I wasn't backing myself up, with the actions that, like, my day-to-day actions were not reflecting the person I was trying to become. One of the biggest things that I realized was that, I was working really hard, but I always liked to go out drinking on the weekends. And so instead of continuing to do that because I enjoyed it, I cut it out because I realized if I truly want to sit here and say that I'm going to have an impact on my industry, I can't afford to be going out making an idiot of myself on Friday, sleeping away Saturday because I got drunk on Friday and couldn't do anything, and then being tired on Sunday because my sleep schedule was all messed up. So I couldn't afford to lose those 2.5 days every single week. So I stopped. And the reason that I've been able to stop and actually just cut it out cold turkey was my goals that I have for my life are more important to me than that short-term gratification of going out on the weekends. And I see this with athletes in a lot of different ways. Similar stuff to this of, going out on the weekends and, quote unquote, just enjoying life when you have big goals for your career and you're now putting yourself further and further away from those goals because, I just need to go out and enjoy life a little bit. Or I see this with other things as well, athletes that aren't investing in themselves financially, athletes that don't want to hire the nutritionist, the strength coach, move to a better gym, etc., but have no problem stopping at Starbucks every single day on the way to work. So you're spending $6 a day on coffee, which, if you're doing that 5 days a week, is $30 a week, which means $120 a month. But you don't want to save up money so that you can move towns and go train at a better gym that's going to put you in a better situation in your career. Even things like buying a car. I bought myself a nice car this year that I'm very happy with, but so it feels almost hypocritical saying it, but I'm also not putting myself in a position where I can't invest in something that I need because I bought this car, right? So if you're sitting here right now and you know that you'd be better off if you hired that coach, you'd be better off if you moved to that better gym, you'd be better off if you moved cities so you could go train with that other gym that invited you down to train that one time, whatever it is. But you're spending that money on a car, on a nicer apartment, on coffee every day before work, on going out for lunch 3 times a week, on whatever else it might be. You've got to understand that your priorities and your vision are not lining up. Because, guys, you can spend your money on whatever the fuck you want to spend your money on. That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm not here to try to tell you how to spend your money. What I am here to tell you is that if you are not investing in yourself, oh, that coach is too expensive. Oh, that move could never work. Oh, whatever else it might be. Examples are slipping out of my mind right now. But whatever the issue is, whatever you are not willing to put towards yourself, that is results that you are leaving on the table. And if you are leaving those results on the table, 5 years down the road, when someone else overtakes your spot, when you lose out on that chance to fight for that belt that you wanted to, or you lose out on that bigger promotion and that bigger paycheck, understand that you are the only person that you have to blame for that. Because that Starbucks coffee every single day, that nicer car, that bigger apartment, whatever else it was that you put your money towards, that you didn't put towards yourself, is the reason that you didn't get the results and in turn didn't get that opportunity. It's not because the promoter didn't like you. It's not because, it's because I got injured. It's because of this. It's because of that. No, it's because you are not doing what it takes to reach the levels you say you want to reach. Your priorities and your vision do not align. So these are the things you've got to start asking yourself. Do my priorities and my vision align? Like when I look at how I live right now, I can honestly tell you that I am doing what it takes to become the person that I am trying to become. I'm doing what it takes every single day to put myself in a situation to be well known in my industry, to put myself in a situation where I'm working with world champion athletes, to put myself in a situation where I own a gym that's on par with Dusseault Strong Performance or Landau Performance or all these other giants in the industry. I'm not there yet. I'm not anywhere close to there yet, but I'm doing the things every day that is required if that is who I want to become. And I can tell you that 100%. Now, Is there more that I can continue to do? For sure. But you better believe that as I continue to make more money, I'm going to continue to reinvest that money into learning more, into my business, into myself, into my athletes, to continue to push myself forward towards that dream. I'm not going to be spending that money on stupid shit that is going to take me further away from that goal or further away from that dream. So ask yourself that question. Where are you spending your money? Where are you spending your time? And is it pushing you towards your goal, or is it pulling you back away from it? And if it's pulling you back away from it, let this be the wake-up call that if you truly want to be that world champion athlete, you truly want to be making millions of dollars in your sport, you truly want all these things you say you fucking want, let this be the wake-up call to understand that your vision and your priorities need to align if you're going to get there. So it's up to you where you spend your time. It's up to you where you spend your money. But there are certain things you are just going to have to do if those goals are as important as you say they are. That felt good. All right. That is it. That is all. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in live right now. If you're watching back on the replay, make sure you go subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel, follow me on social media, all of that good stuff. As always, my biggest ask of you guys is share the show with a friend, share it with a teammate, share it with someone who's going to benefit from hearing this message. So I appreciate you all again. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.